He's known me for about 3 years, but he's only just met me.
Yeah,
but
you can hear the accent over the phone.
What did he say?
You can hear it on
looked at me
Discord.
and said, "Isn't that cool? He's British."
It's cool. I'd love to be British.
Japan time starts now.
What is going on, everybody? Rogers Base here, and welcome to the Japan Time Podcast for November 6th, 2023. I am your host, Rogers Base. Of course, I am joined by the one and only co-host with the most, Mr. Shofu. What is up, Shofu? How are you this lovely Monday evening?
I'm doing all right, man. How are you, brother?
I am doing fantastic. How are you, brother?
I just answered you, man.
Well, you got to come up with a different, look in your thesaurus for things fantastic, splendid, something else, some other good thing.
No.
You're telling me to shut up? Well, someone else who shut up right now is Fadel, because he's currently streaming Spider-Man, but he's in the call right now. So hello, Fadel.
Yes, sir. I'm swinging around, bro. I'm Spider-Man up in this.
You webbing shit up, bro?
No. What?
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 Shofu, why would you say that to me, man?
What'd I say?
I feel like you're just coming at all of us today.
What did I even say? I didn't even say nothing crazy.
I'm gonna shut up, man.
I didn't say that. I said you webbing shit up over there?
I'm webbing shit up. Yeah, bro. I'm webbing the
That's what I
city, bro.
said,
Everyone
bro.
getting webbed, bro.
Come on,
That's what I'm
bro.
getting, dude.
You said you're getting
They're getting
webbed.
slimed
Hey,
with
yo.
this web,
What the
bro.
fuck did you think he said?
I thought you said I don't know. I don't know anymore, man.
You know what? Now I'm gonna say it. Shut up,
Hey,
man.
hold on.
We got double shut-ups. Well, the third person who I'm going to introduce, who hasn't gotten a shut-up yet, we have McDareth. What's going on, McDareth?
Oh, what's up, everyone? I'm doing wonderful, you could say.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
Shut up.
Are you doing wonderful because Cream is back?
Hey, yo. What you mean by that?
I'm
Yes,
happy to see the
sir.
character.
Cream
again,
the rabbit.
But that's not
You was
why.
creaming rabbits? Hey, yo!
Why is it always come back to rabbits?
Hey,
Yeah, okay, Mr. Low
Theme of
Punny.
the show, man. We all love our
Who's
rabbits here at
creaming
Japan Time.
rabbits?
And no one loves
Right,
rabbits
man.
more than Warchamp 7. What's up, Warchamp? How are you, buddy?
Use me. No.
Champ, are you streaming rabbits,
Shofu is
bro?
Mr. Low Punny.
Whoa, what you mean, feather?
What? Diggersby, though?
Huh?
Well, Diggersby's not low punny, though. Are you saying all bunnies look alike? Now you're just
I
racist.
don't like that name. I really don't like that name.
Is it because I'm Italian?
I'm Italian. What are you talking about? Baba da boopy, man.
You're racist, too?
Of course. Joining me, we have our fellow Italians. Joining me, our fellow Italian, Zeph. What's up? How are you?
I'm not Italian.
You are now.
What the fuck? What just happened?
I was gonna say our fellow racist. But
Yo!
What? I'm not racist or
I don't think
Italian.
Zeph is either of
I know.
those.
I was just trying to think of what would
My
be the
hands
most
are
wild way to
straight up,
open the
What do you
show.
mean by fellow
My
racist?
hands are straight up. Do not shoot
what
officer.
Warchamp
It wasn't
said.
me, bro.
This is crazy.
Well, one person who's most definitely not racist. We have Viram. What's going on, Viram? How are you, buddy?
I don't know.
Doing
Man. He's
pretty
English.
good. You know, I'm excited. Grand Blue Beta is later this week, so I'm gonna be occupied for the latter half of this
You
week.
got
and
Anita?
I'm having a nice start. What?
You making fun of his accent? What the
No,
fuck,
I'm not.
Fidel?
I'm not. I'm not.
See,
I
Fidel's
love
racist
his
too.
accent. I think his
Everyone's
accent-
a
we know
little
about
bit
you.
racist.
Fidel could be British. if he
Okay.
could. We all know.
I would.
Was that the intro that you played before the actual show today? Oh, okay. So you were referencing that. I didn't know. We're kind of running out of those, but we might have an opportunity to record some more at the beginning of December. Are we ready to talk about that at all, McDareth? We're not allowed to discuss it yet?
I don't know.
We can give hints, no specifics.
Give some hints. Give some hints. You're the one who's been taking the lead on this.
I think you gave him enough. I think you gave him a nice little snack.
Yeah.
I think it's enough.
Something's
information.
happening. Stay tuned.
Something's happening. Early December.
pretty
Stay
cool.
tuned. Should be some cool stuff. And Fadel, I actually, I want to kick things off with Sonic today. And actually, I think McDarrett, you'll have, and Zviram too, you'll all have things to add to this conversation. But I specifically wanted to call out Fadel because do you remember what we did in a hotel room at PAX?
Hey, yo!
What the fuck is good tonight?
Hey, yo! I need more context, brother.
Nah.
Would you like to explain, Fadel?
Are we, Roger? Are we allowed? Or are
It's
we
out. Bro, we can absolutely talk about it now. It's out.
Hotel
What's the problem?
encounters?
Wait, the game isn't out.
Well, no, but we
But
can
they-
say that we
They
saw it.
announced it. Yeah. You
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
good with
yeah, yeah. Sonic Dream Team, right?
Yeah.
What?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
out, yo.
No, it's not out. It's not out. It's
No,
not out.
no.
No,
Just
it's
stop
not
saying
out, but the
anything about
game
out.
is
Stop.
announced.
Move on. No more. Next. Okay.
Well, we're just talking
Sonic
about the
Dream-
game.
Just
Sonic
about the
Dream-
game.
no more use of the word out or we're done. Okay.
What do you mean?
Listen,
The chat can't handle it. They're having a stroke.
The chat's totally fine. They're saying, what the
Hey,
hell is
don't
this
worry,
pick?
don't-
They're talking about Chris Metzen and Cream, man. It's fine.
I did not know.
Moving on from one cream to another. Please continue, Fidel.
Listen, Roger. We may or may not have visualized the product. You know what I mean?
That's correct. Right.
And it finally got announced.
Yes, sir.
Sonic Dream Team. It is now
Chrono
called
Trigger.
Chrono Trigger, as we
That's right.
we said online. If
Yep.
chat, you have seen the word Chrono Trigger said, then there
Now
it
you know
is.
what we were
And-
talking about.
Yeah, and it comes out in a month, and I'm very excited. I think everybody will be very happy with the game. I think we get the gang in the game
bro.
and everything. It's gonna be fun.
Phenomenal question.
It has What's up?
So my bad for cutting you off, but this is
No, you're good.
just the fact that Cream is on the screen made me think, like, why do they keep including her? And I feel like I keep seeing her and stuff over like the Chaotix guys that people like. I don't know shit about Sonic.
Well, she hasn't been back in a while,
She
right?
hasn't
Yeah,
been
she
back
hasn't
in a
been
long
anything.
time.
No. I
Yeah.
mean, even like not my bad. I said that weird. Even in old games, like in wasn't she in like the Game Boy one?
Yes. She was basically
she's an
made
advance.
for
She's an
advance.
For advance, yeah.
Advance 2 was the game that she
Oh, so she was the new character of like that era.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro.
Okay.
I think Cream is more popular than the Chaotix. I think she's just like a
Well, I'm
little
assuming
marketable.
most
she is
definitely.
now, but because she's a little rabbit, but like, and SBO kind of look weird, but
Because her first
I don't
3D game
know.
was Sonic Heroes, right? That was the
Yes.
first time you could play
Yeah.
as her in 3D.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that was around the same. You're probably thinking that with the Chaotix thing because Chaotix was like a whole team in that game.
Yeah,
But
it just
Chaotix
feels like
is
it's been
definitely
completely
less less
backseated.
popular. Yeah.
I heard like shit about how I'm Fidel could probably put more light on this. I've heard things about how like Sonic or Sega or Sonic Team used to have like a list of like vaulted characters, and I think Cream was on that. So I don't think that
Really?
exists anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they used to basically just have like a bunch of restrictions. It was just restrictions on like how a character could be portrayed or what could they like how a character could act or not act. It was like mandates that they have, and now like they've like hella like loosened up on them, which is good.
That is
Even, like-
genuinely wild too. When you think about it, like there's a game that was released this year called The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
Like that is, and it's a game that was like officially licensed by Sega, came out on April Fools, was like met with critical acclaim. Everybody liked it. So it is very weird to see like how loose they are versus something like Nintendo and how strict they are with their properties.
Oh yeah, no,
think-
100%. It's go Vir.
I was just gonna say, I think one of the reasons as to why, at least like within the canon per se, as to why they didn't include Cream in a lot of the games was because I think it was something like Sonic told her that she's like too young and it's dangerous for her to be going on adventures with him because, you know, it's better for her to just kind of be safe with her mother or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Which is
I
crazy
could-
when
I
you
could
consider that
get
like Tails is a couple years older than her, but
Right.
Yeah, like I could get that. It's the Tails thing and the fact that like, where was the danger in Team Sonic Racing? They
Yeah.
stuck 4 Chows in a car instead. Like,
Listen,
what are
man.
we doing?
she's too young to drive.
Tails is 8.
Yeah, but Chows are
But he
like
makes
they're not
his
like,
laws.
8 years old?
They're not like his family, you know.
Yeah, unfortunately, Tails is like 8 in there.
How the heck does that even work?
They just don't.
He's not 8
age
anymore.
them up.
No,
Yeah, he's like
definitely
probably
not.
around 10-ish, but yeah, they just don't.
That's
age
crazy. What the heck?
They've like deadass. They removed their ages from like the website.
Okay,
Yeah,
so here's something I want to tell you.
It doesn't make any
Fidel, 'cause
sense.
I saw this and I've been thinking about it for a while. So Ian Flynn in his podcast, because people are asking, oh, what's the time frame like now? Because everyone kind of wants to know. Because obviously it seems like in Frontiers they're assumed to be older. They made them all their voices deeper and stuff. And he was saying from Adventure through the Sonic comics, and those comics happen right after Forces.
It's been like 2 years.
No, he said a year and a half.
Oh damn!
It's been a busy year and a half for them then.
Yeah, which
They got
makes
a
no
lot of
sense.
stuff
A lot done.
Does not make
People
sense.
died.
He said it with a maybe, so maybe he was saying that just to get people not to bother him about it. But like that makes no sense.
Yeah, no, that's that Ash Ketchum logic. That makes zero sense. Absolutely no.
Yeah, I guess. But Ash had like a birthday in the actual show, didn't he? Like in the Alola season or something. I almost
still
definitely
think he
remember him
doesn't
having a
have kids.
birthday. No, he doesn't really age all that much still. No.
No.
I mean, they also gave Sonic a birthday.
They still call him 10. Like even if he had a birthday, they're still like he's a 10-year-old.
Sonic is 10?
No.
Sonic is like 15.
Oh. I was getting confused for a second. I'm like, that is actually crazy.
No.
Generations, the startup into generations is everyone celebrating Sonic's birthday.
Got it.
And then in Forces, he goes missing for several months. So I don't know
Has
what
the-
happens in a year and a half.
Yeah, sorry, you guys put my own brain on a tangent.
Yeah, but so like I know a lot of people have been talking about the game, Sonic Dream. I saw a lot of people upset that it's Apple.
My mic
Arcade
should be better now.
exclusive.
My bad.
Very good.
My shit was
And
apparently
obviously,
crackling.
like, I wish it was on more platforms, but it's one of those things of like, the game only exists and looks as good as it does because Apple paid for it. You know,
110%.
So it's like-
yeah,
The-
you wouldn't
the
have
weird
had the
thing
game
too,
look
though,
nearly
is,
this
like,
good if it wasn't an Apple-funded game.
I'm pretty sure Shantae had an Apple Arcade exclusive that became not exclusive, and the game actually wasn't great. So this is interesting.
I mean, but Sonic is a big enough property where even if Apple did fund some of the development or something, I could imagine this eventually going multi-platform if it's really popular. You know, this
100%.
Sonic's not really a property that I feel like they would have just kept and locked away a really good game if it ends up actually being that good. You know, I don't think they're just going to lock it
Apple
away.
products are too. Like, I don't think Sonic is going to sell tons of Apple product for them.
Well, I think it's not that they're trying to sell Apple product. I think it's that they're trying to sell Apple Arcade. Right? Because now this is actually giving Apple Arcade something really, really good. Like a good reason to go subscribe to
it. Doesn't actually have shit. Yeah.
Right. There is actually some good stuff on Apple Arcade, but a lot of that is also available like on the eShop, or you could get it on, Game Pass or what have you. So this is like the first big exclusive type thing in a while.
The thing I like about it is it means like typically the games on it's just like no microtransaction stuff. It's just like it's like a good game that's just like locked in it, but it's like at the very least the good thing is that there's like nothing there's nothing annoying about the game in terms of microtransactions or shit like that you have to worry about paying for.
Right. Well, while we're still on the topic of Sonic, because again, the game just got announced, there's not that much we could talk about it. There was actually a really interesting story that I wanted to bring up from SEGA. And I don't know if you guys have been following this, but about their super game that they're developing.
Yes.
$100 million game.
There's no way it's a Sonic game.
Well, apparently the game... It said, "Oh, do you want to take it?" I was going to say I'll pull up the article, but if you know it,
I was going to say that's a misunderstanding. Super game is like the initiative they're calling it, where basically just for the next 2 years, some of their massive titles they're going to have are going to be AAA games that like, and overall the project is 800 million, but it's going to be multiple games. So like. And the first one's going to launch between 2026. So the idea is just that they want to just make games that are like hella AAA with, advances in, tech and stuff. But it's not one game. That's the misconception everyone was going into is that, if they do this on one game, that's an awful idea. 800 million on one day. It's not for one game. It's just that they're planning multiple AAA games, and they're just calling them super games. That's just their initiative, which I think is a very good idea.
I also agree it's a good idea, but correct me if I'm wrong, it's actually not how I think it works. because they further clarified that the super game is a project, basically, that it might end up being multiple games.
Yeah, a project
it's like one game. It's as if it's like Fortnite or something along those lines, big thing.
If you look at like their investor meeting about it, they said it's AAA titles. They said it's AAA titles with like crazy advancements in like tech and AI and everything. It's not one game. It's definitely
because it says
project is
It's the specific thing from Shuji Utsumi, who I guess is like one of Sega's COOs, said that the game, the super game specifically, is part of like an annual report. They confirmed the super game project was going smoothly and is aiming for 2026. And that the game is seeking to involve the entire gaming ecosystem, which includes players, streamers, and viewers. So again, that's giving me like buzzwords
Online
of something,
game,
like a Fortnite type deal, exactly. And it says, despite the small update, the concept of what exactly the super game will entail is still quite unclear. It's clear, however, the sheer amount of resources Sega is pumping into the project. When it was first announced in 2021, Sega expressed the consideration of spending over $800 million on its development, and it's currently unclear whether or not it's going to utilize Sega's popular IPs and characters. I'm just going to outright say it because I feel like we have to on this podcast specifically. I think they would be wise to do Sega Smash Brothers.
I mean, they have a million characters. I don't know why they don't do like any kind of crossover of any kind.
Because if they're pouring this much money, even if it ends up being multiple games or whatever, I'm assuming they are connected in some way with this initiative of it connecting players and viewers and streamers. And like you said, Fadel, I doubt they would pull all of that into just like one singular game, but it could be multiple games under the same umbrella. And I feel like a major multiplayer thing along the lines of like a Smash type deal would be huge. And I think if they weren't going to leverage their IPs, that would be kind of stupid. I mean, they have so many recognizable characters, even moving away from the stuff that like is making them a bunch of money, right? Like just in terms of the brand recognition, characters like Vice from The Skies of Arcadia, or you've got like I and Gon from Super Monkey Ball. You could do like the dude from Shenmue. There's like a lot of historical cool video game characters to pull from that don't just include their big franchises. That doesn't just include
done, like,
Sonic, Bayonetta, Persona, what else?
Yakuza.
They have
Yakuza, of course.
Mega Mix, right? Is that what it's called? Because they have a game that's in like within a Virtual Fighter engine that had like the car from
oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Tails in it.
Yeah, I mean, Bayonetta is interesting. I don't like. I have yet to see Sega. Does she show up in any Sega marketing, despite it? It's partially Nintendo now, right?
It is partially Nintendo now, but technically the IP is owned by Sega.
Right. Okay,
so
okay.
It's like all the games are pretty much exclusive to Nintendo, and the past few have been funded by Nintendo. But the actual like license holder is Sega.
It's Sega. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even like the Bayonetta soundtrack went up, and Sega is the one putting it up.
Yep.
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, but any other ideas for the super game?
I think again, it's gonna be probably it's either one of them's gonna be a multiplayer game. I think it also means that they're just gonna add big funding for their main games. They've even said so, like that they're just like upping the budget for a lot of their IPs and stuff. So I think it's gonna be. I do think the first game. I don't know. I don't trust whatever the first one's gonna be. I feel like it's either gotta be something that's like a Smash type game or something that a lot of people can get invested in.
Sure.
Because they actually they tried recently to make a multiplayer game. It was called Hyenas, and they just straight up canceled it. They were close to launch too.
Yeah.
They had a first person shooter called Hyenas they were working on. It was like close to launch, and they just deadass just canceled it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't even hear about the game for the first time until right now.
Smart idea to do that. I mean, it's been in trailers, but it's been like there's been no buzz about it, and it's just like I think companies are realizing the whole live service idea is not as lucrative as they thought.
But isn't that kind of what this sounds like to you? Like this super game thing does sound like a live service type deal. It might end up being something else, but at least that's how I read it when I was reading the articles about it.
I read it as more like one of them could be like the first project, but I did read it as like just their next, because it said like the initiative is like like they said they have 4 rules for the game. You know, has to be like a AAA title, some like massive quality into it, using one of their IPs to grow, and there was something else, but it was like it's definitely on the line for sure of just how much they kind of. I feel like it just means that their next games they just want to be AAA because Sega is AA. You know,
Sure.
no matter what, Sega is AA. Even like even Sonic is like a weird position where like it's a AAA in terms of how much money it makes, but it's like AA in terms of game
quality,
quality and size.
It's
You know,
A in terms of the amount of money they put into it.
even like Yakuza, it's
yeah,
like
I agree
people
with you.
adore them, but they're AA games. You know,
Sure.
like. So I think they just mean they want to finally be seen as like when they have a title coming out, it's like, oh shit, this is like a God of War moment, a Spider-Man moment, a Mario Odyssey moment or whatever.
Even just like straight to Mario, because people were I think taking this the wrong way, but the Sonic creator was like, not the creator, but they were saying like, yeah, we want Sonic to be comparable to Mario.
Yeah,
it's like their long-term goal. So it's like, yes,
I saw people freaking out about that line, but honestly, I don't know. Like, if you grew up in the '90s, he always did compete with Mario, so that's not really. Yeah. It just goes to show like the difference in generations. Yeah, that's not crazy to say at all.
Yeah,
I mean it's always been his thing.
It came from a place of like they kind of admit like, yeah, for the longest time, it's like it's just very clear that Mario is better than Sonic. And I think they're just using it as motivation. They're just saying like, yeah, like we do want the return of the conversation to be, like, damn, this Sonic game was better than this Mario game. Because whereas right now, that's not the case for 99% of people.
Especially not like with the direct comparison right now between Wonder and Superstars. Yeah.
Something else I linked, because we were talking about Sonic Dream Team. There was this. Grain of salt, right? This came out ages ago. I forgot where I got this. It was supposed to be something from Sega, like to their investors or whatever, and it came out. So there's like a PDF from it, and it's like this slide in particular talked about future games, and so they had listed
that thing is fake. That thing is fake.
All right,
it's fake.
What was it though? I'm just curious.
It was like how Nintendo and companies have like their internal documents of like their future plans and stuff. It was a Sega one, and because there was a mobile game on it, people were like, "Oh, this is definitely real," but it's not. First of all, it said that mobile game was 2024, which is fake.
So I was about to bring that up as a thing because now 2018 is coming out way sooner than that.
And it also had like screenshots from Twitter in it. It's hella fake.
All right.
It's screenshots from Twitter.
Yeah, like some of the pictures in the docs are like that. I just Twitter screenshots like cropped, so it's 100% fake.
Good. Well, like one thing on this was like they're talking about a new game in Holiday, and it's like, well, what can that even be? Because Superstars, they already did a classic game. They did 2 classic games.
Yeah,
and they did their like a modern game and got a full update to it within the span of a year. So it's like it seems way too soon for like another big Sonic.
Well, didn't we get Forces the first year of the Switch?
Yes.
Like I could easily see them doing another big Sonic game for them.
Yeah, no, I think next year is for sure just remaster remake year, because next year will be focused on Knuckles Show, finishing Sonic Prime, and Movie 3. Movie 3 is going to be like their big marketing push, but they'll probably want to, again, have a game out during all that. So it's probably going to be the time for a remaster or a spin-off.
I mean, if they do a remaster, honestly, why don't they just do Sonic Adventure?
It has to. Yeah. I feel like it has to be a game that has Shadow in it. So...
because of the movie,
I don't think Adventure is too far-fetched considering Sonic. Yeah. Whatever the fuck. Dream Team looks like it's an adventure styled.
Not just that, but
it's not. I can tell you right now, it's definitely more arcadey, Zeph, than like Sonic Adventure.
Well, no, I mean it looks like in terms of level design, it looks like
it's like way more
like open. All the past 3D Sonic games have all had you pretty much running straight and like avoiding stuff. Yeah. This looks like you can take like harsh turns and find things, like almost like a really, really small Bowser's Fury level.
Yeah,
pretty much.
I agree with that. Shadow the Hedgehog Ultimate.
I do agree though that they probably will do a game with Shadow in it because of the film.
Yeah.
Like as soon as you brought that up, I'm like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I feel like Shadow's been neglected a bit as well in Sonic games. Like what did he even do in Forces? He did that side to side cutscene,
Did like a DLC, yeah.
that horrible
he
thing.
hit his own thing, yeah.
Yeah,
And
he did have his
then
own,
he
like-
wasn't in Frontiers.
He did have his own prequel DLC levels in Forces, but it was like 3 levels.
Yeah.
And he was just Sonic. There was like nothing special about him.
Yeah, I mean that's how it was in SA2 as well, but obviously they've kind of developed him beyond that.
Sure.
Yeah, now he teleports without Chaos Emeralds.
Well, anything else on the topic of Sega before we move on?
If they're gonna dump $1
we're
billion
good.
into a game, it better be Sonic Adventure 3.
Yes, sir.
Sonic
Yeah,
Adventure 3 Part
I think that's what
1.
everybody wants, though. Yeah, yeah.
I
And
do
I
hope
wouldn't,
the
I
big
wouldn't
game
see
is
it past
Sonic.
them to
It's
split it
just-
like that. You're right.
I'm skeptical with Sega, but like I do hope.
I think it's difficult though. Like Sonic as a game formula, I feel like is so hard for them to actually like make something good. Not that it's impossible, but it's like having a platformer where the whole thing is going fast and wanting to
I don't know, man,
have-
because the fan creators seem to do it just fine.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Even-
and
even
Mania
those
was
fan-
great.
even
Mania's
those
not
fan
that
games,
old.
though. Even those fan games though, like they're
Spark the
solid
Electric
fun.
Jester 3 reaches faster speeds than or maybe just as fast as like old 3D Sonic titles, and
Is that
it's
gonna-
felt completely perfectly controllable.
Is that going to compete with like Odyssey though? For like the average person,
Well,
that's what I mean.
No, but if
That's what I
instead
mean,
of
like as a
weird
formula,
jester man, Sonic would make it
or
marketable.
just like as a formula, a platformer where like the biggest thing is going fast is so hard to hit that balance, right?
Hmm.
It's difficult for sure.
Because like you
I
want
think
the
it's
camera,
worse with. Are you talking about 3D specifically? Because I think it's way worse with 2D Sonic.
I think both.
Because
I
2D
think-
Sonic, there's literal math you can do. I think CD is the best about it, other than Mania, because this stuff was done in my head before Mania came out, where it's like at top speed, you have like almost like less than a second to
60.
react to stuff.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But in CD, the screen zooms out a bit when you go really fast, I think.
Yeah.
But
The
on
thing-
top of that, the whole thing about 2D Sonic games is how it feels to me is the games are short because they want you to keep playing it over and over, so you memorize the level layouts,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is why it lost to Mario. Mario,
Hmm.
you can play the level one time and feel like, wow, I think I mastered that.
Oh, Nintendo's whole thing is like teaching you at the start of the level. Like, look, here's a new
Sonic
enemy.
wants you to-
Yeah,
here's
yeah,
how
yeah.
it works.
Sonic wants you to
Now-
grind it out in practice.
Now see how this enemy can be like applied in different ways. When we make it run off a platform left, when we make it run off a platform right, when we make two of them bump into each other, like Wonder does this with like the stampeding enemies or whatever.
Sure.
Like Nintendo is very like, we're going to show you a thing, and now we're going to build a whole level around all of the different ways that this thing that we just showed you like reacts, and like that's like their formula, right? Even the very first like Super Mario Bros. Like the whole thing is that like you hold right, you run to the Goomba, you die. You hold right, you hit jump, and you just like naturally bump into the block and learn, oh, if I hit the blocks from below,
I
like,
know.
it does something. Like that's been Nintendo's like whole thing like forever, because it's good, it works. And like Sonic, just as a speed platformer, like Zeph was saying, like if the camera's too close, like you literally don't have the time to react to stuff. And so I feel like if it's just about going fast, then yeah, they have to do that approach where it's about memorizing the level and like doing it over and over and over again. And I don't think that's ever going to have the appeal of like feeling like you've learned something intuitively like you do in Mario. And I think they need to like look at other ways that they can, instead of making Sonic go fast, make it feel fast. Like one of the biggest things about Odyssey is that Odyssey is a relatively slow game when it comes to platforming, but like you can
Sure.
hit a lot of buttons very quickly and do
Really
like, a lot
easy
of
to
cool
do.
stuff.
That's
like,
just the
that- the
nature,
thing-
though,
the thing
of
about
those
Odyssey
games.
is
I
it's
feel
like-
like, yeah, Mario's always
I
like
think
that.
well, no, honestly, it wasn't, because
Really?
and Mario 64 and Sunshine are both pretty hard to like. They're easy to just pick up and do stuff, but like to go fast is pretty hard. But Mario Odyssey, you have a lot more room to fuck up and stuff. And also, Odyssey, I think, was the first time I've seen my completely casual friends post speed run clips of any game
Yeah.
because
I
of those
think-
Koopa
I
levels.
think Frontiers is like the closest they get to making Sonic feel controllable and movable without him being crazy fast, you know?
Yeah, now do it and don't fucking put in that weird character control slider and be confident in how Sonic should feel.
That's true.
Yeah, definitely
That's
stick
true,
to
that's true.
something. I like that they
I agree with
went
that.
back and gave options, but they should definitely just stick with something and build around it.
Yeah. I
I
get
also
that.
think they should just they should make Sonic feel cool to pilot. Like make him the way that he moves and does various actions. It should feel.
You should be doing more tricks and stuff.
Yeah,
And,
Yeah,
like,
he should be
any-
very
yeah,
flashy
in any
in what
state.
he does.
Yeah.
It should be like Spider-Man, where like anytime you're like in the air, something you could do like very cool tricks, and every movement like feels like you're doing something cool.
I don't even know how you would do this, but like make them run different ways. I don't know what that means or how.
Yeah,
like,
no, I know.
I mean, they could do the
I know
peel out.
exactly
Like
what
if you're
you
doing
mean.
like super well in the stage, make him do the super peel out.
yeah,
First
yeah.
run, like stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like make like literally Sonic Rush. Like rewards
Sonic's
the
whole
player
thing,
for doing
like
tricks with boost.
his since his birth, his whole thing is being cool. And
Man,
he's, like,
Rush.
become
You
sort of
mentioned Rush. Rush really
sterile.
was a good game.
That was
And it was
actually
relatively
my
ahead of
favorite
its
Sonic
time,
game.
too.
Yeah, that game
Yeah.
was so
Chat,
good.
these things.
I'm
the
sure.
V's, should I do
I'm
them?
sure all the Sonic
Not
people
yet.
here have played Freedom Planet, but like one of the things that Freedom Planet
Yeah.
did that I never understood why it was like this in Sonic is that like just running.
I know what
into
you're gonna
something in
say.
Freedom
Yep.
Planet doesn't hurt you.
There's that two story.
It's
You
only
have-
when the enemy doesn't attack animation.
Yeah, the enemy has to actually attack. You don't get hurt for just bumping into something. And if you're gonna have a game where like the core thing is just go fast, and you're gonna want the camera close enough because you want Sonic to be a personable character that people are interested in, like to see, and you're not gonna give people the reaction time because of the camera, then make it so that just hitting something that you don't see doesn't hurt you.
Yeah.
Right
I
on.
I don't understand how like Freedom Planet was the first game to get that right after years and years of 2D Sonics.
You guys were just talking about movement, obviously, and like what they could do with Sonic, and then you had just mentioned Spider-Man, Fadel. I am curious because like we talked about it a lot on last week's show. Tito was bringing up like his experience with it. Just curious because I think you're the only one other than him playing it right now. Like, how are you feeling about it?
Oh, I love it, man. I think it's one of those games where just like the gameplay is just fucking fantastic. Like it just everything feels like it flows good. The story is really good. They've been doing a very good job at. I feel like they're doing a good job of doing a variety of like activities and stuff, which is like something really important because I feel like a lot of the last game was like, oh, just do this puzzle, do this, like very like, and they've made sure a lot of the side quests have more like meaningful stories and stuff. I'm still like early in the game, but like from what I've been playing, like swapping between the two is fantastic. The movement is awesome. The suit variety is really sick. And I just feel like they've just done a good job of making it feel like this is just peak Spider-Man. They added this thing even in the air where you don't even need to always swing, you can glide, and the gliding is so satisfying, genuinely.
Is that just with Miles, or is it when you play with Peter too?
It's with both. It's both. So you press triangle in the air, and you can just basically glide a bit in the air. You can go through some like wind tunnels to gain speed. It's just so good. I do have, my one flaw is like so far there's a lot of moments where like you're out of the suit, and you're doing like the human walking around stuff. But I get early on it's to develop his relationship.
How
like
far
with
are you?
Harry.
Did you just start it?
About like 7 hours in, 6-7 hours in.
So,
And
like,
I know
halfway,
a
you'd
lot of chat
say-ish?
saying like just wait. I'd say no, I wouldn't even say at halfway. A lot of people tell me halfway is when you get symbiote, basically. But I think still that the times even when you are walking, it's because you're out of the suit and stuff. But I think, like I said, they do a good job of balancing them. And I mean, Insomniac just knows how to make a good game, bro. The combat in combat, what I love is like they even got rid of like the weapon wheel. So like there's no moment where like you're like slowing down to like pick a weapon. It's like all in the combat. You press R1 and one of the buttons to do an attack. You hold L1, one of the buttons to do an attack. So I think they just did a good job of making everything flow super well. And the cinematics are insane. Like they are just going crazy with it. It just looks fantastic and everything. They killed it.
Right on. Well, moving on from Spider-Man, I would actually like to talk a little bit about Blizzard, because this is also something I know pretty much nothing about, but we were having a whole conversation before the show even started about this year's BlizzCon. So whoever wants to take that away, feel free. But this is one aspect where I know almost nothing.
MidCon.
Okay, you chill out over there. I mean, I'll give it to you on everything except when they got to WoW.
Let's hear it. Yeah.
Because okay, I can just go through half of this real
This
fast.
is the other thing.
Please, damn.
BlizzCon has always just been a Warcraft convention.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
With
what the fuck am I aiming this camera at?
Hey, look, there's other Blizzard games too.
Yeah, but like this year, I felt like especially Overwatch is pretty boring because they showed off a character that's cool, but like
okay, can we?
They just killed the league and shit like that.
I want to talk about that real quick.
Mhm.
I want to keep this real short. Mwaga looks great. The trailer for him was fantastic. If like all of the other shit with Overwatch hadn't happened, like that would have been a fantastic.
We probably
show.
would have liked
Like,
him. Yeah.
It was very charismatic. It was very fun. It was very joyful. However, I haven't done enough looking into this to see if it's actually that weird, but I felt a little weird that they're showing off this Samoan character and the background music for that trailer just had like voices chanting Samoa.
Wait, is that really what they really?
I didn't even put that together.
Oh
Yes.
They were just saying.
I don't know if like Samoa is a word in Samoan that like means something and that's not fucking weird, but in my brain I'm just like, if we just got the Sojourn trailer and there was just someone in the background going do 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 Canada do Canada, like that'd be fucking weird. That'd be really fucking weird. And I don't know if like in Samoan, like Samoa like means something and that's not like as weird as it fucking sounds, but to me that seemed really fucking weird.
You have Soldier 76 in the background. America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah. Yeah, the one thing I found funny about that, because I used to like be obsessed with Overwatch. I used to play it all the time. Followed every new character, like loved the cinematics. I was obsessed with, but the one thing that I will say is I do find it very funny that this character is like straight up a rip of Maui from Moana. To the point where like he even says "You're welcome" as his little like special quirk in battle. It's like, come on, dude, you couldn't have been a little more subtle with it. I don't know.
I agree
between the PvE thing and then like changing over Overwatch 2 and everything that they screwed up with it, I still am so shocked that they managed to fumble so badly when that game was what all of us were playing for so long and loved it. And people who don't even play that kind of game were obsessed with it. Like, I'm not really an online shooter person, but I was obsessed for the better part of like a year and a half. I loved that game.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I was never an online shooter. That was like, that changed me. I was like, holy shit, this is peak. And then death.
Like Blizzard just does not. Whenever they try to make an esport, they fail. When they just make a good game, it normally becomes an esport. People just love Blizzard games.
That's how it works in general.
Yeah.
Overwatch started as just a game, and then they were like, hey, what if we had 26 seasons a month?
So the biggest problem, and this is what I think, I don't know if Blizzard just doesn't get this, or if they're trying to brute force it and be the ones that like, are the ones that don't have this problem. Because I've talked to a lot of friends about this who are very competitive oriented. Like, they play lots of fighting games. They play lots of, competitive oriented games.
Sure.
My friends, it's the running gag in our one friend group that, every game our one friend loves ends up dying because he ends up, falling in love with these very like niche, very competitive games. And that's the thing with esports, is that if you want to have a competitive title, there needs to be like significant strategic and technical depth to the game. And Blizzard doesn't want to make that. They want to make mass market appeal. Anyone can play this video games, and then they shove esports into it. And you can't have both. You just can't.
It's also like because they're trying to do this faster update cadence, they hired a lot more people. So like for WoW, for instance, they've been a lot better doing faster patches. But Blizzard's the company that will be like, oh yeah, before this next expansion, we're gonna wait like a year and a half. You're gonna be on the last expansion, then we'll drop another one. And like for WoW, people loved it enough they dealt with that. You can't do that in a game like Overwatch. It needs constant updates. Like the GOAT meta rolled around and they just didn't they didn't change it forever, and that like hurt the game. Because like that Blizzard was not a company who was used to doing that.
That's another thing we talked about, like live service games earlier. It's like live service games are very lucrative, but I think a lot of companies underestimate just the amount of like effort and content you have to churn out to do that stuff. We saw it a lot when loot boxes got popularized, of a lot of other games like trying to do loot boxes and just basically like
Hydra,
just destroying themselves because they didn't like understand just how much shit you need to have to like actually have.
Isn't in like places like Belgium, you just straight up can't have shit.
Oh
like
yeah,
that there?
probably.
yeah. They
This is before
passed
that, though.
laws. Yeah.
Yeah, this
And
is
Overwatch
So,
was
like,
the
can
game
Overwatch
that
be
brought
sold
loot
there?
boxes. They got rid of them.
no.
Wait, but
Overwatch
was it because
2
of
didn't
was it
make
because of the
them have
gacha
loot boxes
mechanics? Like,
anymore.
what was the deal? Why couldn't
Well,
you?
I
Because
remember
it's
the whole
basically
loot
like-
box
it's basically-
controversy of like
Because it's
gambling.
children's gambling. It's literally
Yeah.
child gambling.
So is Genshin banned there in Belgium? Like, can you
See,
not
no,
play
it's a
Overwatch
weird,
then?
it's a slippery slope because there's technically no difference between buying a loot box and buying a pack of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, but sitting on the computer mashing the buy button with your mom's credit card, I guess, is much easier than going
Yeah.
to the store and doing that.
Right. I guess also with like gotchas, like the differences.
And
like, you're
Genshin, you
always
don't
getting
pay for
something.
like characters, you pay for the currency, right?
Yeah, right. You pay for primo
And
gems.
Right.
in Overwatch, I think you could only buy the loot boxes, right?
Eat big phenomenon.
Yeah.
I did the
pretty sure, right?
carnival.
See, but I actually
And-
liked that better. I felt like I was always getting better things via the loot boxes than I ever did off the battle passes because you're required to spend so much time. Like, if there was a season where I wanted a cool Holiday Mercy skin, right, I could just buy a couple loot boxes and I'll probably end up getting it, or I'll just play until I get enough. Whereas, like, with the battle pass, you have to literally play like 80, 90 hours of the game to get to, especially if you're playing free, to get to where you would then be able to unlock whatever that thing is.
Yeah, people did the math in Overwatch 2 for like how much it would cost to get that, to like buy everything, and it was ridiculous. And then this includes buying all the old stuff they brought over.
Yeah.
Like,
I think the problem with loot boxes in a lot of games is that in a lot of them there's extra fluff and bullshit that you don't actually care about, and that's when loot boxes become a problem. So like
Yeah.
Overwatch does this, like you can get icons or weapons or
Stuff you don't want.
sprays
shit like that,
or
skins
other
for
little
characters
tiny
you don't
bullshit,
play.
yeah.
Or
Like
or
they-
duplicates until recently, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, can you just not get duplicates anymore?
I forget
Well,
how it
duplicates-
works.
Duplicates I never minded though either, because duplicates you would, if you got like a duplicate of some legendary thing, you
I
would just
think- I
use
think they
that currency
changed
or whatever
it,
and
or
unlock
I
what
don't
you
know.
want.
Yeah, but it would give you like a fifth of the currency that you would have to pay to like buy that thing. So
Mm.
you'd have to get like 5 legendary duplicates to buy a legendary outright.
See, maybe it's because like I wasn't collecting all the skins or whatever, but like I only wanted like the Mercy, the Sombra, the Junkrats, like the characters I actually would play.
Mhm.
And so for me, every time there was a new one with that, and I was playing the game pretty consistently because I just enjoyed it, I was unlocking loot boxes and would get all these legendary things. And then I had enough currency built up because I naturally wanted to play the game to then just basically get them, even if it was only a fifth of whatever the price would be.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't matter because my actual enjoyment of the game wasn't coming from just getting the skin. It was coming from literally playing the thing.
Yeah, and that's when the system is okay.
Yeah.
It just it spirals out of control because, as you know, with a live service game, as they add more content, there is now more and more things for you to get, and thus
Yeah.
lowering your chance for duplicates. So the longer that you are not playing, the now worse chance you have of actually like getting anything you want, both by random roll and by like farming duplicates. And it all is up to the game on how predatory their system is for doing that. Like,
Sure.
you know, I was a big fan of Battle Right, and it was very easy to just like get everything in Battle Right because they didn't have a lot of content, but then they also gave you like a pretty fair amount of like the currency or whatever when you did get a duplicate. It wasn't like a fifth or a sixth of it. It was like like half or a third. So like if you hit 2 legendary duplicate skins, then you would probably be able to just get like one of the ones that you wanted, which was great.
Also,
Another-
just add on top of all of that, so the only way that you can get skins is through loot boxes, and now add FOMO with like Christmas events and Valentine's Day
Totally,
and
totally.
Halloween,
of events.
and they put out about like 10 skins
Yes.
per event.
Yep. Which is another thing I liked about Battle Right is that the event skins were available for purchase after. They were just at a much higher price than normal. It was like,
Sure.
it was like double or triple the legendary price. So like if you really, really wanted it, you could still get it after the event. It's just like your best chance was to, you know, roll loot boxes during the event. But you could still get the stuff after. And I think actually like Overwatch originally, at least, I'm pretty sure maybe it wasn't Overwatch. I feel like there was a game with a battle pass where it's like if you had missed the previous season, like playing a following battle pass would like help you get old battle pass content. Or, like old battle pass content would just like go into the shop or something. Can't remember if it was Overwatch that did it. But that was like a really friendly system, and I think that's what a lot of games that do loot boxes like don't get right.
Chat is saying Halo Infinite.
Yeah, I think I remember
Was
with
that the
Halo
one?
Infinite, the battle passes didn't go away; they just existed. So you could just go
I did
pick
not
an
know.
older one.
Yeah, you could go
Oh,
back
right.
and get any battle pass you want.
Mhm.
There's
That's
What-
like a very Japanese.
I'm trying to think,
arcade
like, where-
level game style.
Weren't we all playing Halo for like 2 weeks, and then I just
Yeah.
haven't
I think
touched
the
that
whole
game
world
again?
was.
It was
Yes.
not very good at launch, but I hear
I enjoyed it,
apparently it's
though.
gotten a lot better. People are saying the current season is very good now.
Mm.
They've
Yeah,
made a
there's-
lot of good changes.
There was a few little.
So they made
Infinite's that
damage
thing
done.
where like I think it offended its player base too hard, too fast,
Mhm.
and now it's doomed.
Yeah.
Victor, did you say Overwatch created loot boxes? was it
Was
the
it?
first
It's,
Blizzard game?
if it didn't create it, it was one of the first popular ones that made it really mainstream, and then a bunch
Loot
of other
box,
companies
I
picked it
thought,
up.
wasn't it Battlefront? Wasn't it
Nope.
EA?
Nope.
Oh, I could have sworn
I've
that was one
noticed
of
like
them.
this is almost an entirely other conversation, but I just
Team Fortress.
realized because of the chat.
Oh, yeah,
I've
you're right.
noticed
Yeah,
lately-
Team
Oh,
Fortress.
yeah.
Games have been like ramping up the amount of like characters or skins they put out depending on the game. Like Pokemon Masters, for example, has been dropping like 800 fucking characters a month, and it's ridiculous. So it's like
Yeah.
I also hear things about Genshin and Honkai getting updates way more than I ever used to.
I feel like, no, I feel Genshin and Honkai are pretty much, I think you're probably hearing it more because Honkai is now a thing that people are playing.
This is normal.
Because Star Rail's new, but like Genshin's pretty much the same as it has been. Because like they just announced Navia, who's like this girl who's one of the main
I have a
characters
question
of
about
Honkai.
Genshin, actually.
Yeah.
I saw a character.
I was just playing it right beforehand.
Art of a character with a gun. Do they have guns now?
Chloron does. She's like a police officer type
Does it
thing.
just control like
confronting.
arrow or
I don't
bow
know. I
and
haven't
arrow?
gotten her yet. I don't know. I've only seen her in cutscenes and stuff. She might. I'd assume it would work like an
That would
archer.
be
Yeah.
like a new weapon too that you have to get for that character.
Yeah.
No? Or do they just use bows anyway?
No, so the way it works is the characters don't usually use like new weapons. You pull for weapons, but you can share weapons among a certain weapon type. So like if you're putting together your teams and there's like an archer you really want to use, you really only need one good bow. You don't need like hundreds of bows unless you want a team full of archers or you're like really deep into the metagame. But like for me, I play through the story content, I'll do some character quests, and then I'm like, I'm good to go. I'm not really like spending hundreds of hours doing the super duper deep metagame stuff like in the, what is it, the Golden Tower or whatever that thing is called. I just like, I have no interest in doing that. There's other games that I want to play. And I think the people who are super, the Abyss, thank you, the Spiral Abyss. And I feel like the people who probably complain are probably the people who are playing that stuff pretty regularly, but that hasn't been an issue for me. I think the only thing that I ever really run into in terms of being an issue is like, pulling for a character banner, but just like any other gacha game, you just like don't get that character. But again, speaking from my own anecdotal experience, I've pretty much gotten everybody that I've ever wanted just off of either doing the pulls that they gave you naturally through the game or like doing one or two additional ones beyond it. My luck has been pretty good. I think I've only lost to 50-50 like once or twice ever in the history of the game since I've started playing it last year. And and you're able to get through the content, I think, pretty easily in that you're not like stonewalled and you can't get past a certain area unless you have like a certain character. And Honkai is good at that too, where, I've been playing through that for the first time with Star Rail, and they give you two really good characters like right from the get-go that you never really need to swap out. And you could even use other people's like level 80 crazy characters during all your dailies and everything, where you'll never even need to raise a character up to that, because the whales that are playing the game will basically let you use their support characters to unlock other stuff.
At the start that changes though.
Oh, that does change?
Yeah, not even like trying to push what their version of the Abyss. But like going through the story and all that stuff, no, you're pretty much fine using whoever.
But their version of the Abyss is like that dumb cyberspace thing that's like a visual novel, right?
No.
Oh.
Because that's a roguelike. Which actually,
I don't care about that at all.
No, let me tell you. That's the best content in that game.
Really?
Like, I agree with you. Look, all the little stuff it's telling you to read, skip all of it. Just skip through it, keep going. Once you actually get to the next part of it, it's actually the best version, because then you actually getting different challenges. You're getting different builds on your characters, different ways to run it. I think that's where Star Rail is at its best, is playing that simulated universe.
Okay.
They have literally a thing that's like the Abyss that just resets, and it's just like it's a weekly thing. It's the thing in like
got it.
That thing is like Abyss.
Yeah, with gacha stuff, it's I mean, I think everyone here knows that like the term gacha comes from gachapon, which is like
Of course.
really the origin. Like there's machines in Japan. You put like a quarter in, you get a little random toy. You get a little orb that has a toy in it. Maybe it's a good toy, maybe it's a bad toy. That's where it comes from. I think the first game to actually do it, like the first video game to do that kind of stuff, was Maple Story. But definitely the one that like made it
the old Nexon bucks that you could buy at Walmart.
Yeah,
I remember
the one that made it popular in like the Western world was Team Fortress 2. And it's very funny that Valve doesn't actually get a lot of flack for this, but pretty much every modern monetization strategy for video games is Valve. They did loot boxes, they did early access, they did battle passes.
Yeah,
all of those things were Valve. And like people hate these monetization strategies, and it's how almost every game works. And like nobody blames Valve for basically like inventing all of these things.
It's also like the way Valve did it, just like the compendium never felt like, yeah, you're gonna miss this, but you have
it wasn't
much
predatory.
time. Yeah, you have so much time to fill out the compendium.
Because like that's the thing about Valve too, is that like they understand that like making an enemy of the player is a bad idea. Like, you know, Gabe was on record forever ago when they first made Steam that like the best solution to piracy is make it convenient to buy your shit. That's why they made Steam. And now Steam is like the video game marketplace. Like it's really that simple. Like just don't make enemies of your players, treat them like
no, that's true
beings.
too. Like as a certified open pirate, if you make it even like 10% more difficult than it needs to be for me to buy your thing, I'm stealing it. Just even if I have to go somewhere else entirely out of spite, I hate you, I'm stealing it.
Minecraft, you're stealing it in Minecraft.
It's also why it's also why
God,
music
fuck it. I'm
piracy
gonna
is
steal a
gone
new
down.
mic.
It's also why like music piracy has gone down quite significantly with Spotify and streaming services like that, because it's so easy to just like, oh, I'll pay the
it's accessible now
monthly subscription. I get any music that I want basically.
Yeah,
from all over the world. Yeah,
we gotta. I just want to read this real quick, just because this came from the chat and it was interesting. I didn't know about this. This comes from Sir Mammothie in the chat, who said, Belgian here, going back to what we were talking about with the loot boxes in Belgium. It says, loot boxes are considered gambling here. Genshin's actually not available on the PlayStation Store due to the laws, but it's on the Epic Store. And as far as I know, the gacha mechanics are actually intact in the PC version. But Mario Kart Tour never came out here. Fire Emblem Heroes got delisted, and Counter-Strike 2 cases are blocked from being opened, but they can be bought and earned. So that's weird. You just get them in the game and you can't open.
Yeah, so that's
very bizarre.
That's a funny thing that Valve does with their loot box system. That is probably partially to like circumvent this. Is that in CS:GO and in TF2 at least, you get the loot box like by playing the game for free.
Yeah.
To open it, you need a key, and the key is what you pay money for. So you can have 25 loot boxes and you'll just get them from playing the game.
Sure.
But every one that you want to open, you got to pay $3 to buy a key for it.
I got it.
And Dota 2 used to have that. It's weird because Counter-Strike still uses the keys, and Dota 2 had that, but Dota 2 got rid of it.
Because Dota 2, I think now that it has a pity system for their stuff. And I think that's why they don't have to do it there, because like if you're opening cases, if you're opening cases in Counter-Strike, there's no pity system for getting like a knife. Right? Like there's no guarantees when you're opening a CS:GO or a CS2 loot box. Like you are getting an item from that box, that's it, you're done. If you could open 10 of the same box in a row and you could get 10 of the same skin. In Dota, the way they do it is that they have a loot box, and that loot box has, for example, like 10 different character skins in it, and then a couple like rare or ultra rare ones. And every time you open one of those loot boxes, you get one of those 10 skins, and you will not get duplicates until you get one of all of the non-rare items in that loot box. So if it's a loot box with like 10 normal rarity items or whatever, and like 2 rare items, if you open 10, you will get all 10 skins from that loot box. And maybe you will get the rare ones while you're rolling. They're an added bonus. Like you can open a loot box and you'll get one of the normal skins, and you might get one of the rare ones. And there's also a pity timer on the ultra rare ones. So like every single one you open, your chances go up a bit. Now your chances start at like 1 in a million, and they go up to like 1 in 500,000 after one loot crate. So it's still shit, but it does like progressively get more and more likely that you'll get one of those ultra rares. But you're guaranteed to get all of the quote unquote normal items from a loot box in Dota 2 before you start getting a duplicate. Like once you get If you open 11, you'll get all 10 items, and then it'll just reset, and you'll get one of the 10 items again. And then your next 9, if you open more, you won't get that first item again. So I think that's how they get around a little bit of the loot box stuff, and they don't do the whole key system there anymore. They did, interestingly, still do the key system for Halloween last year, though, McDareth, when they did when Moreta came out and they did like the Halloween loot crates. That one still uses keys, but they do. They do just do treasures that have you get everything once without duplicates system. It's weird.
I hear Fadel. I hear Fadel in the background unmuted. I was just gonna say he just noticed that Frontiers was spelled wrong on his stream. Had to fix that. You're very welcome. Yeah. Thank you. How was the guy who was shilling Sonic Frontiers for 2 years not able to spell Frontiers correctly?
Apparently, I don't know how to spell Frontiers.
Sorry. Wait, go ahead, Gareth. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say the thing I really loved about the way Dota did it, even CS, but CS to a lesser degree, like the characters, you don't just get a skin that's the entire, like the skin is everything. Like each skin is several pieces. So if you just like a certain piece, you could even just go to the store and just buy it from another player. It's just the piece you want.
Because Valve has the community market system where items can potentially be tradable to other players, and you can trade them on the market and sell them for real money that goes into your Steam wallet that you can spend on other Steam things. And Valve takes a cut of every sale in the community market. So every time you sell a skin for fucking $3, they make 5 cents on top of the $3 you spent to buy that case. Like they're triple dipping, but it's convenient, and so players don't care.
Yeah,
they made it easy.
That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Yeah, like you said, it is convenience.
It's not predatory and it's easy. So people don't care. It's fine.
Bringing things back though to BlizzCon, we kind of went on a different tangent, which was interesting. I don't mind at all. But we were talking about the Overwatch stuff. What other stuff was there other than the big World of Warcraft thing?
So they did Overwatch. They went. It was funny because when Mike Ybarra, the new current president of Blizzard, named like, oh, maybe you're from this game or this game. Someone in the crowd said, well, what about StarCraft? And like he kind of did acknowledge it because like Blizzard just killed StarCraft. Like the whole team got let go basically, and they're off making their own. They just had
a balance patch. It's super great. Everyone hates it.
StarCraft?
Yeah.
What are they on? 2 or 3?
It's 2. It should have been 3, but like literally that whole like the entire team that works on StarCraft in Blizzard is gone. They're all gone.
That was a while ago though.
Yeah. So like,
is StarCraft still? This might sound kind of naive, but like, is StarCraft still an esport? Like, is it still something that
StarCraft is? StarCraft 2 is.
The original StarCraft.
The original StarCraft is.
Brood Wars,
like from 1997. Wow.
Although it is getting a little bit less because of Twitch's ad changes recently. And
what does that have to do with StarCraft?
When Twitch like rolled out their changes to like, oh, you can't take third-party sponsorships for like events run on Twitch or whatever. Korea like just went, oh fuck, and just bailed.
Wait, but
they rolled it back, but it was too late.
I'm confused though. Like, what was the whole thing? They said you couldn't take third-party sponsorships.
So when Twitch did like their big like ad change that they backpedaled on immediately, one of the things in there was that like you can't take third-party sponsorships for like things that you're running on Twitch. You can't run like.
You're talking about the thing where if you put a box on stream, right? Like if there was a box on stream that said today's thing is sponsored by HelloFresh, and
they had very specific limits on like what you could do. Like if you had something like sitting on your desk, fine. If you had a little banner that was covering like a fourth of the screen, it was okay. But a lot of these like tournaments and stuff, like they're running like actual like 30-second commercials and like full screen slides. Like you can see at a Smash tournament. Twitch's guidelines were just like, you can't do that anymore.
And that's why they bailed.
The entire esports industry was just like, are you guys like out of touch? Like, do you not know anything? Like, this is how every esports event like funds itself. And that was on top of all of the other shit that was also like impacting creators with their ad changes. So Twitch backpedaled and like rolled back on all of that. But Korea and I think all of the other like Asian esports industries are just like, no, bye.
Here we go.
Just like fucked off to YouTube, I think, for the most of them.
I've seen it.
Weird, man.
Brood War is still very much an esport in Korea.
Yeah.
It's Korea's national sport.
Really?
Yeah, as of a while ago.
A national sport is StarCraft.
Yeah, StarCraft was like
Google
it
it.
was a big thing
Yeah.
to the point where you had people not really like going to school for it, but almost like how we're starting to have those scholarships now in the States. Korea had those way back then.
Huh.
Like it was a really big deal. And,
Nice.
okay, so I brought up the StarCraft thing because then they brought out Phil Spencer because like, oh yeah, Xbox owns it. So Phil Spencer comes out onto the BlizzCon stage, and while he's naming stuff, he actually just named StarCraft. Like straight up named StarCraft is one of the things. Like he's just talking about Blizzard's legacy, but the fact that like the new president of Blizzard is willing to talk about StarCraft, it's not like the ugly stepchild in the corner anymore, means the series has hope. So that's something. People were happy about that.
I mean, Reggie mentioned Mother 3, but it didn't mean anything for Mother fans.
It was very funny that Phil Spencer was the first person to mention StarCraft, not Blizzard. They didn't show it in the opening ceremony video. Mike Ybarra's president didn't mention it. He ignored an audience member mention of it.
Yeah.
It was very funny for Mr. Xbox to be the first person to talk about StarCraft. Also, in that speech, I don't want to sit on it too long, but he was going over like all of Blizzard's franchises. First off, did mention StarCraft, didn't mention Heroes of the Storm. That kind of sucked. But while he was going through all of them, he was talking about like what each of them have done for their genres. Like he talked about how StarCraft basically like pioneered esports, like, you know, like started it as like a thing. Like it's all thanks to the original StarCraft that like esports exists, right? He talked about Diablo and like pushing the action RPG genre forward. Talked about Warcraft and just like what all of the different Warcraft games have like done for their respective genres. And then the thing he said for Overwatch was, and I'm pretty sure this is a pretty damn close quote, redefine what representation looks like in a class-based shooter.
I forgot he said that.
And that was his point for Overwatch. Like, don't talk about any of the like actual very sick gameplay things that Overwatch has done.
Yeah.
But it's just like diverse cast, and then like moved on to his next point. It's like what
the
why?
heck? Why?
Like,
Yeah.
what? There's like so much about Overwatch you could and like people already like rip Overwatch apart for like the leaked like diversity meter thing that they have, right, for creating characters, which has also been blown out of proportion by people. It's like people really get freaked up about the diversity chart, but like that chart is like an internal tool that's meant to like keep them. It's a guide. It's not like
it's not a quota they have to meet.
Yeah,
basically.
exactly.
Yeah.
And but people like see it and look at it like that. And it's like it's
Sure,
not like
sure.
that. It's like
It's just in
diversity
the
is
vein
absolutely important to Overwatch. Like it is a
Yeah.
big component of it. And it's a great thing about Overwatch, honestly.
It's just in the vein of everything that happened when that came out. It just looked way.
That was true. Yeah, that was when all
Yeah.
that stuff was going down, right?
Yeah, it was at a bad time, and just like for that to be the one thing that Phil Spencer talks about Overwatch in opening ceremony is like to talk about that and not any of the other things that honestly Overwatch has done well. Overwatch is a good game. It's just they kind of shot themselves in the foot with the balance of it, and then all of the allegations of stuff at Blizzard, and then dropping like the reason they made Overwatch 2 in the first place. Like they have fumbled that game tremendously. It's very impressive, honestly. And I just don't know why that was the thing that he brought up in the speech, but it was very funny.
I mean, if Overwatch League did what it was supposed to do, they would have talked about that, but you know, it didn't.
Yeah.
You should have talked about never mind.
What do you mean? What do you want to talk about?
Dude woke up, rolled over, and forgot it, and went back to
I
bed.
didn't forget.
I was like, I'm ready for
It's just
whatever
not
you want
the-
to talk
it's just
about.
not
Let's
the
go.
time or the place.
Okay,
This is the
okay.
shuffle hour.
What do
I'm
you
ready.
mean,
Let's
man?
hear it.
What's wrong,
I want to
Shuffle?
hear it. It is the
Man.
time.
Show
Let's
Full
go.
Unchained. Let's go.
It's just not the
Let's.
time or the place.
No, it is. Please.
How are you gonna
your
tell
time,
me
man.
what it is?
It is the time. You're on your stream. We're doing Japan time right now. The people want to know. You got to say it. What is it? It can't be anything more wild than half the stuff we've already said on this episode. It can't be more wild than the potential title for this episode. The title of this episode was Creaming for BlizzCon, bro. So please,
Who's
just
creaming?
like,
Whoa, you're creaming BlizzCon.
I'm saying it can't be more wild than that. So please,
Oh,
what is
shit.
it? Unless it's Pokemon Cypher related, in which case, dope.
It was gonna be. Don't even worry about it, bro.
Please, no, come on, I gotta know.
Please, come on, Shuffle. Please, come on,
Please,
man.
come on, Shuffle, come on, man.
No, come on, man.
It's fine.
Please, buddy, please.
It's fine,
Please,
it's fine.
Shuffle, come on, man. Please, bruh.
You know what else is looking pretty fine?
Warcraft.
The Super Mario RPG remake. That's what I was going to transition into. Just skip it right over the Warcraft.
We're in BlizzCon discussion. We didn't even talk about Warcraft yet.
Well, all right.
I mean, we've had some nice tangents though.
We didn't even talk about the one thing at BlizzCon worth caring about.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
You guys got 10 minutes.
So real
World
fast,
Warcraft.
they did Diablo 4. They announced the first expansion's coming out.
Which is fucking wild.
Yes, because I'm worried they're trying to force it down the Destiny route, and we see where that's leading Destiny at this point. So I really hope they pull
What's
back.
with the thing with Destiny where they like delete content? What's that?
It's because they just pump out an expansion like every year, treating it like Call of Duty, but it's a live service game. So eventually, like, how do new players play all this content? So they just delete old stuff, just take it out the game.
What the fuck?
People the new stuff.
I mean, WoW has run into that problem, and their solution was you just you go from one to max level inside one expansion. Like you just pick the game that you want to play, basically, which was an interesting way to go about it. Destiny's method of just like deleting old shit is fucking wild. I don't think Diablo would do that though. But
I don't think they're gonna do that. I'm just worried, like, because I get they're trying to make it a live service game to a fault, and that's what I think is worrying.
Well, I think they're gonna go the PoE route because PoE has proven a model. So Diablo 4 announced its next expansion, which, to be fair, we knew an expansion was coming. This is the Blizzard formula: is base game then expansion. They've been doing this since fucking 2001. Like this is how they operate.
Overwatch as well.
This is how they operate. This is what they do. The surprising thing was that they announced it already, because like the way that Diablo 4's story ends is a very blatant. There's going to be more. Like cliffhanger, it could not be more obvious that there is going to be more story. It is what Blizzard has done for 2 decades now, is release an expansion. What's surprising is that they already announced it, because they announced it for, did they say 2024 or late 2024?
Late 2024.
They said late 2024. We are on season 2 of Diablo 4. Like we're like 2 weeks into season 2 of Diablo 4. This game is like a newborn baby. Is barely out, and they're just like, by the way, expansion coming, which is great. I'm excited for the expansion because I think the story that they've set up could be interesting, and we're going back to an old zone, which is fun. It's just I can't believe they announced it already.
Yeah,
but I mean,
didn't that dragon thing just come out?
If it's coming out late next year, like they have to announce it now, I guess.
Now you think about WoW and the WoW expansion that was a year or 2 ago. Dragonflight
would have been a year ago because the first raid was December.
Oh yeah, it was December, so it hasn't been 2 years specifically yet. But yeah, so the thing I'm excited about with Diablo 4, it needs an overhaul. So expansion is normally the time Blizzard does that. Like they'll do minor changes. Overhaul. I think there's certain things they just got. Like at this point, just get rid of vulnerability. They have to simplify a lot of the stats. Vulnerability is the point. I know they nerfed the shit of it, but it's like.
Have you played season 2?
No, I have not.
Okay, they fixed vulnerability and they also fixed resistances. The game is in a much better place right now. The season 2 mechanics are actually very interesting. They're very fun. I think they're okay.
Okay, well, I'm definitely gonna give it another play event. Well, more than I love Diablo, but like the launch version of D4 was kind of unfortunate, and
yes,
I think itemization is still in the point where they're just way too much shit. They even said this on stage, like, yeah, we need to figure out how we're gonna simplify it. So like, they just got to figure that out.
Which is very funny because it's like it's so basic and like simple compared to something like PoE, which, to be fair, is completely off the deep end the other direction. I do not care for PoE because I have 2 roommates who play the shit out of PoE and they love it and it looks fun as hell when they're playing it. And I see what they do before like a new season starts, and I do not want to play Spreadsheet Simulator the way that they are.
Yeah, that's always my thing with PoE.
That's PoE. It's like there's so much shit, and I get how that's fun. I understand the enjoyment of that for some people. That's not for me, and so I like that Diablo 4 is a little bit more simple.
That's what I mean. That's where I want it to be. Definitely don't want to go full PoE.
Yeah.
Okay, well, to WoW.
Oh wow, let's talk about WoW. Yo, Chris Metzen.
Look, I'm letting you guys go. This is good for me. I'm just like sitting back, relaxing.
Yeah, I'm playing a game right now. I'm chilling.
I'm watching Fadel play Spider-Man. That's literally what I'm doing right now. So.
I'm on my island sanctuary.
You're good.
Right, I'm multitasking.
And I'm playing Grand Blue, another mod.
There you go. That's it.
So you want to go first, McDareth?
Yeah. So at first it was like, they're just gonna talk about certain things. They talked a little bit about, Dragonflight. Because I would say, as someone who's thought Shadowlands was such a poor point, that literally I paid $1,800 for a copy of Frostmourne because I am in love with the series. Felt like WoW was just shit. It's just in a super bad state. I play it because I played it all this time, and then Dragonflight came out and like, wow, this is actually good. I'm actually super happy with this. My guild stopped raiding, and that's why I play WoW is to raid, so I stopped playing. But like, Dragonflight actually felt good. So from here, I thought they could only go really up. Chris Metzen comes out and immediately is talking about, I'm setting the scene.
Why, Roger?
Here's like the next idea we have, and then says, oh, by the way, I'm gonna announce the next 3 expansions right now, which is something they've never done. So I like Roger said when we showed it to him, like if he was someone who liked WoW, just that moment would have been holy shit. It's just like,
well, just the fact that he said 20 years of history is like just wild to me. Like the idea that they're setting up for something that's going to be, something that players are going to follow for the next 2 decades is super hype. Imagine if Nintendo did that. If like here's the idea for the story for the next 12 Zelda games. Like people would be losing their minds.
So Metzen wasn't setting up the next 20 years, but he was more like, we've had 20 years of WoW, we're gonna have 20 more, right?
Yeah, this is like the first step.
But the thing is that MMOs are starting to learn now that if they do survive for a long time, it is very difficult to tell a story for that long. And WoW is the first game to go that long. They have done a lot of the learning for other people. 14 was able to benefit from that in a lot of ways, and like FF14 has talked about this recently too with their next expansion, because they're like, with Endwalker, they're like, yeah, we're ending this like arc of the story. This is like the Hydaelyn Zodiark saga, and this is going to be the end of the first 10 years of FF14, and what we're going to be doing for the rest of Endwalker and for the expansions forward is we're going to be going through the next 10 years of this game. We're going to be talking about like a whole new arc for the story for this game. And that's something that like FF14 had a little bit of a leg up on like getting to see kind of WoW falter on that and that concept and not really understand that, because the biggest problem that WoW has had for the last many expansions, not like since Kata, but Kata was definitely the start, because Kata was when they kind of had to start writing original story. They didn't really have as much to pull from as they did with Burning Crusade and Wrath. And the problem that WoW has had for the last many expansions is that even though an expansion lasts like 2-3 years, and that's a lot of time, it is not a lot of time to set up and conclude a story arc, like something meaningful. Because what WoW had for the first 10 years of its life, going through Vanilla and BC and Wrath of the Lich King, is it had Warcraft 1, Warcraft 2, Warcraft 3, and all of that history and lore and background to pull from and build off of, and these beloved characters that we've known from the other games before WoW existed, like Illidan and Arthas, the Lich King, and Kel'Thuzad and Gul'dan, and all these characters. Like WoW was able to pull from that. It was able to pull from a decade or more of history for those first few expansions, and then starting with Kata, and then later the other ones, it's like, here's new thing, and then by the end of expansion, thing's done. Kata comes out. Here's Deathwing. End of Cataclysm. Deathwing's gone. Welcome to Mists of Pandaria. Here's the Shah. End of Mists of Pandaria. The Shah is gone. We're done. We've solved this. We've fixed this problem. Warlords of Draenor. Like, here's Garrosh, but eviler and time travel. This was a bad idea. Why do we do this? All right. End of expansion. Garrosh is dead. All right. Here's Legion. Here's Gul'dan. He's back. Blah, blah, blah. End of expansion. Gul'dan's dead. Boom. Done. Like, there's not enough time to build up and create something compelling and interesting and like do something with it. And that's kind of been WoW's biggest problem, is that these expansions, first of all, they kept having to one-up themselves because they jumped the shark forever ago. Like, we've gone to fucking space and fought God, basically, like 3 times in WoW at this point.
I always thought Sargeras would be the end of WoW. The
fact
like that it was so long ago is like, okay.
Which we'll get to, because that kind of turned into its own little thing. But it's like, WoW has been constantly one-upping itself, and it had to do so in a very quick and, absurd manner, because it was trying to create and resolve things within a single expansion. So now Metzen comes on stage and he's just like, yeah, what we're doing now is we're doing a saga. We're doing the World Soul Saga, and it's going to take place over 3 expansion, and we're going to tell you the names of all of them right now. And that's
names and like high level plot details.
Yeah, and like a general synopsis of like how these things are going to go. And that's sick because now they have like 6, 7, 8 years to build up a story, to build up characters, to create things that we actually give a shit about that are going to last longer than this one expansion and then be forgotten about forever. Yeah, and that's a lesson they've had to learn the hard way, being like the first MMO to last this long.
And then, because I was just saying, in Shadowlands, they tried to do like the Final Fantasy 14 thing. It's like, oh no, but here's the big bad behind everything the whole time. But it's like, they made up a character and retroactively changed everything else. So they just like, it just felt really shit as someone who's like, you've been playing this whole time.
Which like 14 also kind of did, but 14 built themselves to do that. They left a lot of like...
Yeah, there's still stuff open that was like, you could root it in.
Like 14 very explicitly designed itself to just like throw out random MacGuffins and unresolved like threads that they could just like, you know, grab at later whenever they wanted to. WoW never built for that. WoW never like left a shadowy figure behind the Lich King for them to use later. They just kind of shoved one in and made it work, which doesn't, you can't do that. It's bad storytelling. So yeah, it's very, I'm glad that WoW has like kind of learned this lesson and is going down this route, and I'm really excited to see what happens, and I hope they don't fuck it up because I'm actually very excited for this.
I feel like Blizzard in the state they're in now, I have the most confidence that I've had in a long time that they can actually do something and like follow this through. Because like for a very long time, it really felt like WoW is downhill. I'm not the biggest fan of Overwatch. I guess Diablo is the only hope, but that's bad. I don't know what else to look forward to with Blizzard.
Diablo's good right now.
Oh yeah, I know. But I'm saying like, because like Dragonflight came out in between this time. So like after Dragonflight, said, okay, oh wait, WoW is being corrected. We're going in a good path. Another thing, because we talked like real fast, because it's just the Blizzard hour, I guess. Blizzard was a company that just got super complacent in like, oh no, we know what we're doing. And just did not listen to feedback at all.
That's what I'm saying.
Backtrack it like way later.
What are you saying? That's what I'm saying. Fidel, you can just pop in here and say that.
Dude's probably in the shower like that one podcast episode.
I'm not in the shower.
Spider-Man.
Okay? Dude, Roger is in my chat typing shit like he's eating poop and eating shit, man.
What are you talking about?
Okay, no, actually, I want to. No. I want to read this. I want to read this excerpt from Roger's line, please.
What does it say?
Roger said, "I was eating. I pooped my pants because I was eating during the podcast and farted, but it was poop." That Roger's 2023.
Yo, put that shit on screen, bro.
You can't say put that shit on screen after what he just said.
You guys are libeling me.
What he just said. You can't say put that shit on stream, bro.
You said I was. Wait, I'm gonna read this because this is genuinely ludicrous. It said I was eating. I pooped my pants because I was eating during the podcast and farted, but it was poop. What the hell does that even mean, dude?
You said that.
I did not say that.
It's literally pinned in my chat right now.
Why is it pinned in your chat?
Because to put you on blast, bro, so people know you're sick.
I'm blessed. I'm sitting here listening to them talk about World of Warcraft. Why are you talking about me pooping my pants, bro?
So you're shitting in your pants while they're talking about World of Warcraft.
I am the eldest boy. I am the eldest boy.
What the fuck?
Listen, Fidel, I was watching your stream the other night. I'm pretty sure there's a gas leak in that apartment. I saw you talking to yourself all night. Like, I wouldn't put it past that to
yes, that's true.
I'm the eldest boy.
Roger, what happened here, man?
I have no idea.
Talking to himself and making faces at nothing. Like there was another person.
Fucking referencing TV shows.
L to the OG.
There's a gas leak in that place.
Oh, Roger forgot to sign out.
And why would eating? Why would eating make you poop?
But you did that.
Roger, I know you poop
because I am also confused. I was
talking to nothing.
I think it's because there's no punctuation here. It says, I was eating, I pooped my pants because I was eating during the podcast and farted, but it was poop. Now, the one thing I will say...
But I'm saying, why does... Because I was eating during the... Like, how does you eating during the podcast make you poop? Like that doesn't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That doesn't make any sense.
Roger
also, there's no punctuation here. The one thing I will say that is true about this message that I definitely would say is there was not a single swear in here. This is very family friendly. It just says poop or fart. There's nothing like inappropriate.
What? What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Why is Aru there?
Is there a fucking helium leak? Is that why you're...
Why are you tweeting about me pooping my pants? Stop! I didn't poop my pants. I'm sitting here on the podcast.
With poop
The
in your
eldest
pants.
boy doesn't poop his pants, bro.
Exactly. I am the eldest
Poop your
boy.
pants, Roger.
I am the eldest boy.
I was eating, I pooped is crazy.
I'm pretty sure,
Are you
Roger. I'm pretty sure we're the
serious?
only people that have watched
Wait,
that.
I don't care. That makes it funnier.
He's just shitting in his pants while I'm playing Spider-Man.
Oh shit.
I'm not
Yeah,
pooping
I
in
know
anything. I'm literally sitting here on the show.
Imodium. Roger, take Imodium D. That'll
Shofu,
help.
can you put this
What's that?
meme on screen?
What is this?
Get away
What
from
is
me.
this?
Give me my AirPod back.
This is one of my favorite memes
a
of all
maggot.
time.
Is that from a Blizzard
You
game?
look good.
I don't
What
know
the
what it's
fuck
from.
is this, bro?
No, that's Doom.
This is one of my
Did you get
favorite memes of all
feedback?
time.
That's from
That's
Doom.
crazy.
That's where that sword is from, at least.
This fucking podcast has flown off the rails.
Yeah, I don't know what the heck is going on.
Hey, well, actually, wait, real fast. Is Ari still there?
I think she is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna do a real. Oh,
Hey,
I'm
what do you
gonna
wanna ask
do
me?
a real far callback real quick.
Let's hear it.
If Ricky was here, he'd be eating the poop.
All right,
now.
McDarrett wants to.
That is a throwback.
What's up, McDarrett? What's your
Hey,
question?
shout out to Baba Tunde. May he rest in peace. We love Baba Tunde.
Hold on,
The weekend of this-
I mean, look, you can add. I mean, go ahead, ask him, man.
Hey, Aru.
Hey, McDareth.
A weekend of December 1st. Would you be free for a get together for something?
Get together.
Ooh,
On whose behalf?
it depends, cause I'm moving around that time, so I'd have to see when I'm moving.
Wait, I have another question for you, Aru. Another quick question. My question for you is: which do you like better, Cheesecake Factory or Margaritaville? Which do you like better? Which restaurant chain?
I don't think I've ever been to Margaritaville.
I think I like Cheesecake Factory better.
Margaritaville is where old white people go to retire.
What about? Okay, let me throw another one in the mix.
No, Roger,
Cheesecake
don't,
Factory,
don't,
Margaritaville, or a Rainforest Cafe? Which one? Which is your favorite?
What?
I am a Rainforest Cafe enthusiast, so I
Okay,
have
why
to
did
go
you
with
just say
Rainforest
don't
Cafe.
though? Why'd you say don't when I said Rainforest Cafe?
Give me questions that I don't want to answer.
But
I was
it's a
talking to
fair
McDareth.
answer.
I like talking to McDareth, and you're interrupting.
I'm
appreciate
the
that.
host of the show. I'm the eldest boy.
What the
I'm the eldest boy.
I think they're speaking in code.
The eldest boy.
The words are English, but the language is not.
Wait, is Roger really the oldest one here?
Probably. Oh, actually, no. I think
Might be
Shofu
actually.
is.
No. It's definitely fucking Roger. Everybody
Well, no,
relax.
Shofu, are you? Wait, Shofu, are you May? Is your birthday May?
No.
47.
Rambo.
Because mine's March. Wait, when is yours? June, April, May? When's your birthday, Shofu?
Hey, don't
What
worry
month?
about all that. Just know you older than me, old ass man.
Wait.
Well, you're my old. We are the same age, though. It's the same
No,
year.
the fuck, we're not.
Yes, we absolutely are, Mr. 1990.
See? Exactly. He's older than
You say,
me.
see, exactly. You were born in 1990.
You're older than me, brother.
How are you gonna tell him when he's born?
You're
I
older
know.
than me.
I've
You're
known him for
older
so
than
long.
me.
Are you God?
You're older than me.
I'm the eldest boy, apparently.
You're older than me.
Shofu,
What's up?
next time you go down the stairs, I'll help you. Don't worry.
Why are you saying that to me like
What the hell
Roger's
that
not
kind
older
of
than
thing
me?
mean?
Say that to Roger's base. His knees
But
don't
I'm
need to work
healthy.
no
I'm
more.
good, man. I leave my house. I'm fine, man.
Raji, do we need to change the batteries to your pacemaker?
My pacemaker. I don't have a pacemaker. I
Oh,
almost-
we will
Shofu's
soon.
like 6'11". You're not helping him down anything.
McDareth, let me see my schedule. Let me see when how the move goes, and then I'll let you know.
Okay, I'll send you a DM for more with actual more info.
yeah.
Appreciate it.
So back to World of Warcraft.
What? I forgot what we were talking about.
I genuinely
Yeah,
forgot we
see.
were talking about that too. Where did never mind. I'm not gonna bring it up again.
We
That's
started
fine.
talking
I
about.
agree.
We started talking about weird stuff, man.
Aru derailed us like she always does.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
McDareth.
It was Roger this time.
She
It was
she
Roger.
posted on
She
Roger's
did
account.
anything.
McDareth
She
asked me
posted
some
on
shit.
Roger's account, and then fucking
did
Fadel
Oh,
and
it's
Roger-
Roger.
and then Fadel and Roger
Yeah.
started playing Mafia.
And then I just tried to take advantage of the situation. That's a good question.
And McDareth took his night action of playing the Seer, and yeah.
Are we done with World, or can we move on to Mario RPG now? Because that's like the
No,
other
no,
thing
okay.
that I think.
So
Okay.
Chris Metzen's really cool, and he's one of the OG Blizzard boys. He left for a while because he got like burned out on whatever.
Yeah,
I was
Titan
back.
that failed and became Overwatch.
Yeah, I can't believe that. That's fucked up. Can you believe Overwatch was going to be an MMO? That's
Yeah, I think it'd been way better.
that's uncomfortable. still very like deathly afraid of the Riot MMO. That's either going to be like a train wreck or like game industry changing. And
I had a lot of faith when Ghostcrawler was there. The fact that he left, now I'm worried about it.
I don't think that's not anything. But Chris Metzen being back is great. If anybody here didn't watch BlizzCon opening ceremony, I highly suggest like you just go watch the WoW section when Chris Metzen comes on stage. That dude has probably like the greatest stage presence in all of video gaming, like hands down. And I was talking about it with everybody else a little bit before the podcast, and I think it's a big part of it is that he is one of those like OG game developers that like built a franchise that is like beloved, 2-3 decades later. There's a lot of old developers who were just like they were just making games because they were passionate about it and because they loved it and because like their whole fucking heart was in it. And you can tell that when Metzen like talks about Warcraft stuff, because like he's one of the guys who was writing a lot of that older story and that older lore, and he's like the older generation of like developers that created these like insanely huge franchises now that kind of like became a rock star in gaming. And I think there's a lot of developers now who are just trying to be a rock star and not trying to like make something amazing.
Yeah.
And I hate that. And I think it really shows because you have a lot of developers who are just not really receptive to like feedback. And they're just like, oh, I just like, I have a vision and I'm like, my vision is right. And I'm just gonna like, you're gonna play the game that I want to make because I know how to make a good game because I am a rock star. Yeah. I am a super game developer.
Was definitely at this point, and they were stumbling because of it too. It was pretty bad.
Yeah, you can see this with a lot of developers now who just like, I don't know. I don't want to say they're like conceited or anything. It's just like I feel like the allure of like being a popular game developer person is kind of getting to them. And there's a lot of older developers like Metzen who were just like, in it to make something fucking cool. They kind of just became rock stars instead of trying to be rock stars, and it really shows. And he just has a presence on stage that isn't like, you can watch all of BlizzCon opening ceremony, you can see the difference in every single person that's up there. The woman that was up there for World of Warcraft is also like, you can tell that she cares about the game, and it's I don't know, it's less muted than Metzen, but I think that's just because Metzen like has his fucking roots in this genre. Like he made this, so he's a little bit more comfortable with it. But it definitely shows with the Warcraft people that they're very invested in what they're creating, and they love it, and they're just hyped to be sharing it with people. And I think that's one of the things that like Yoshi P and the FF14 team really exhibit too. It's like they're just making a cool ass game. It happened to like get popular, like Yoshi P got brought in to salvage a train wreck, and he managed to pull it off because like he just wanted to make something great for players. And that really shows. And I think that's why 14, the community just treats him like so belovedly. And I'm glad that Warcraft has that back in Metzen now in some fashion.
Yeah.
And it's like that's not even something that's like avoidable either. Like if you're a developer coming into Warcraft right now, if you become the lead producer of World of Warcraft right now, like you weren't there the last 20 years. Like you can pour your heart and soul into it, but you are not one of the people who like built it, who made it, right? You can only be in it so much. So like, yeah, having Metzen back is super exciting just for the implications, and also just the fact that you can tell that he really cares about it. Okay, I'm done.
Right on. Zeph, it is finally time. Mario RPG remake. Let's hear it. What are your thoughts on the trailer that they showed? The new update? The game comes out by the next Japan time. We're all good. Well, a lot of us are going to be playing it and streaming it. Sounds like it'll be a lot of fun. Also, Viram had to go, so shout out to Viram. But Viram had to go to sleep. It's late in London
now that we're done with that fucking nerd shit. I'm kidding. Okay. I don't even know if people are aware that a new trailer dropped because it was only in Japan. But it is pretty much just an outline of the game if you didn't know what Mario RPG was to begin with. But they show a lot. Like, I explained it like do you guys know that mod of Mario 64 that turns it into like how the official art looked of it? Pretty much Mario RPG looks like that. Like they took the renders of the enemies and characters from the magazine and just dropped them in the game and then animated the shit out of them. In battle, like the enemies, I don't know, everything looks really high quality because you know in like even the 3D-ish Mario RPG games, enemies sort of like hard cut to animations. It almost looks like they can transition from their base animation into death into like attack. It's weird, but I'm curious about who the developer is because of shit like that. I'm almost thinking it's like a restructured group of people from Alpha Dream because of the graphical effects on the numbers. And there is a moment in the trailer where they do one of those new team attack things where Bowser turns like his shell goes like rainbow, and it's the exact same shader pretty much that they use for his like dreamy form in Dream Team, if anyone here has played that. So I'm wondering if they have any like people from there have any hand in it because they died. As for new stuff, I think they've really just shown that they added an easy mode, which is whatever. When you get a new character, you know in the first trailer when you get a new character and like you saw like an exclamation mark over their head for their attack.
Sure.
For like the first few times you attack with that character, that exclamation mark will appear when it's like the action command happens. So like when you get that like 5 times, it won't show you anymore. Which is cool because when I was a kid, I definitely didn't know when to press A for Geno stuff. So that's nice. The mashing things have a meter now when they didn't before. There's all kinds of stuff. There's like they added like a travel log almost where Geno and Mallow exclusively write in like diary style about what's happening in the story because they don't really have much characterization in the plot. Really, they're just sort of around. So this fleshes them out way better. It looks good. I don't know. It looks legit. Like, bias aside, as best I can, it looks like one of the better RPG game remakes, probably like ever. Like it's when I saw the like a GIF of it of Mario just running around the overworld, I thought it was like a weirdly upscaled version of the Super Nintendo game before realizing it was just the Switch remake. Like it's 1-to-1. It's crazy. In short, I recommend it. I'm sure most people are gonna get it, like because there's not much I don't think coming out around that. What comes out that day? 3 things. Mario. It's like Mario, Persona, and something else.
Oh, Tactica! I almost forgot about that. Yeah, that does come out soon.
Yeah, it's something like that.
If that game did not come out the same day as Mario RPG, I probably would have played it because I love strategy games and I like Persona, but Mario RPG takes precedent.
Some stuff also got relocalized, which is cool. Like it's more faithful to the original translation.
They're keeping in. I was gonna say they're keeping in a lot of stuff though. Like they kept in Peach's question mark. I saw they kept in Link and Samus and everything. So it does seem like they're doing it.
It's 1-to-1. It's legit.
Yeah.
Something that I've been seeing a lot of talk of, and I'm not even sure what they're gonna do in cutscenes. You can very clearly see characters move, like their mouths move. I don't know what. Because no, they're not going to talk. There's no way.
No.
But like you can see Mallow speak very clearly, and I wonder what that like if they're going to make noises or something. Also, a Tetris 99 Mario RPG theme dropped or is dropping.
Really?
Oh, that's awesome! Great.
That's cool. Yeah, that's coming out. There's a trailer that dropped for it. I'll put it in chat. Our Twitch chat.
Speaking of the 99 games, I just want to give a shout out to myself because Ricky and I were playing F-Zero 99 and I'm S+. S+ level 50, first in Grand Prix. Ricky sucks and he's not here right now and he's a loser. And I just wanted to say that.
You said 99.
F-Zero 99, yeah.
You were about 30 years old in 1999, all that.
I was actually 9 years old, 2 years before September 11th happened. Yeah.
Okay, like
I was 11.
Why are we talking about
date?
this?
What the fuck?
Well, because 1999, I was 9.
Okay.
2001, I was 11. September 11th,
your
I was 11
birthday
years
So
old.
why did you have to bring that specific data? You could have said anything in the world,
Because it was just September 11th.
bro. What? What are you talking about?
It's November, but it was just September. It was just September 11th.
So you just gonna skip a whole month, bro?
What's an important day? They said never to forget. So,
Bro. Yeah.
Here, this is sort of what I mean, by the way. It's totally off topic because I don't want to talk about 9/11 anymore.
The fuck?
These two pictures, like the one on the left is the magazine, and then the right is in the game. It's pretty close. They're paying real. I can't believe you said that.
no. That's why I don't know. Let's continue.
I'm trying.
I'm trying my best, bro. This was so weird. This show went off the rails like 5 times, man.
It went off the rails in the first 5 minutes. What do you mean? We've been fucking free-roading it this whole time.
Oh, man. We have a lot of good shorts content, honestly, that can come out of this at least. You know, Vanilla is going to be busy making some shorts, I think. Anyway, yeah, that looks really cool, though. That castle with the sword in it from Mario RPG looks really cool.
Yeah, I think you can use the eShop vouchers on it if those still are around. But if that
people
helps
again.
anybody.
Well, I guess they could use their eShop vouchers, to get the game, and it'll be a little cheaper. But the other thing I was going to say is that, again, another recommendation: if you have $3 worth of rewards on the eShop, go download Suika Game for free. That game rules. I put 50 hours in that game in the past week, bro. It's crazy. I love it so much.
Game?
The watermelon game. It's so fun.
Bro.
That's the best $3 I've ever spent in my life. And it wasn't even actually $3. It was free rewards off of Nintendo points, off of free games Nintendo sent me. That's crazy, bro.
VTuber's really
Suika the goat.
Whoever that is, rich.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Who's your favorite VTuber, Warchamp?
I don't have one.
That's your.
You ever think you could develop
the god on Twitch?
Yeah, shout out,
Of course, shout out to Shizzy. Of course, Shizzy's a VTuber. I was gonna say Amelia Watson, but
I think it's fucking wild that you can develop like not even a shitty game, but like an incredibly basic game, and then just the right person streams it, and then you never have to work again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a cute game, to be fair. And
yeah,
it's
no,
like
I'm
genuinely
just saying
catchy.
it's crazy that can happen.
Yeah. Just
don't
make
watch
good games,
VTubers.
people. That's it. Stop making
And then
garbage games. Make fun
you have
games.
the dude who made Flappy Bird have a mental breakdown and take it off the store.
That is wild, man.
Yeah.
What was that horrible game from like 4 years ago where the dude who made it is weird and like Zeph was always memeing about it? The one with like the guy who has red hair and he's got like a beard.
Yeek? It's not called that, but yeah, Y2K. Yeah,
That's the Yik game, right?
Yeah,
Yuck.
that shit
Yicky?
sucks ass.
That's what I was thinking of.
It's pronounced.
Yeah.
You know how the Byleth voice actor in Ultimate got swapped because of they were tweeting about it and also like a bad shitty person and
I was
abusive.
gonna say they swapped him in the actual base game too. They did a whole patch and everything. Shout out to Zach Aguilar, by the way, who's the new voice of Byleth. Shout out, good buddy.
Yeah, so that guy still, even though he's like outed as like bad, I'm pretty sure he's like still hasn't. Anyway, it's still the main of Yeek guy, so that's cool. Just a nice mark of quality for their game.
Is there anything else you guys have been playing recently in terms of like?
So I played and beat Dragon Quest VIII on the 3DS.
Oh
recently.
shit! Why? Why now? I mean, it's a great game, but just curious as to why.
So I had the PS2 game when I was a kid, and I would always get to like the first dungeon, beat it, and then never play it again. So I was just tired of that and decided to get the 3DS version because it has all those updates and stuff. And I loved it. It was very good. It really surprised me because I've played Dragon Quest games, not all of them, but most of them. And I was really surprised with how much 8 held up, like in terms of like if I compared it to 11, those games pretty even for me.
I would say, what are your other favorite Dragon Quest games? What you played?
very basic. Well, actually, no. This is apparently uncommon opinion. My favorite Dragon Quest is 6, and then probably 5, and then 3.
Right on.
Yeah,
I like 9. I love 9 on the DS.
that's cool.
Yeah, with the Street Pass stuff, that was a lot of fun. Share your favorite Dragon Quests in the chat, everybody, as we slowly wrap this sucker up. This was
Never
an
played
off the
one.
rails episode. You've never played a Dragon Quest, but you've spent half your life on WoW and Final Fantasy 14.
I've
Yeah,
also
why do you
never
think I
played
could-
Dragon
With
Quest.
Why do you
those
think I've
games
never-
now. Yeah,
why
but
do you think I've
Shofu,
never
you
played
don't
Dragon
play
Quest?
multiple MMOs. You just play Smite and Pokemon, and then you record music. That's all you do.
Not true, man.
That is 100%
That's all
true.
he does. He wakes up, plays Smite, a little
He
bit of
wakes up-
Pokemon.
Based on my Discord, when I get a ping almost
living a
every
life.
morning when I wake up at 8 a.m., 9 a.m., I see a Smite call with Shofu in it on my Discord every morning without fail. And then whenever you go live, it's either Pokemon or something related to music.
No, it's not.
Sometimes Smash Brothers.
All these lies being told right now.
Your last thing you did a costume contest on Halloween. You played Among Us, I think, once.
So
And-
those don't. Neither one of those sound like Pokemon or whatever the fuck else you said.
No, it was just chatting.
Hey man, I just be doing.
You do
shit.
play Among Us, that's true.
I play all
Is there
kinds of-
anything this year that's a new game that you're like, I'm going to play this? Anything at all?
I haven't played Spider-Man yet, but I got to get to that at some point.
Are you going to play it on your own or you're going to stream it?
I was supposed to stream it, but I just had too much going on. So
I feel that. When's the Pokemon Cypher coming out?
2023.
There you go. Right on. Cool. I just thought maybe I could catch you in a little.
Yeah, what was
know,
that fucking
I told you today.
paparazzi ass like style of interview there?
That
You
was
just
all.
sneak in the biggest question,
I mean, I told
like
him
you
the
wouldn't
date.
notice. Oh.
Yeah, he said 2023, so it's coming.
That's,
you know,
that's the answer.
that's right.
Yeah, the 23rd of month 20 in this year.
That's absolutely right. And then by the next show, we'll have a lot of stuff to talk about. We'll have the new Nintendo financials that come out in just a couple hours. We'll be discussing all of those. We got Mario RPG.
I
That's gonna
guarantee
be
as
out
soon
by
as
the
we
next
stop
episode.
streaming, they're gonna be out.
They'll be out immediately, I guaranteed. But there's going to be a whole bunch of other stuff. It's going to be a fun show. 2 weeks from now, don't miss it. There may or may not be a spoiler cast going up next Monday for Attack on Titan if we can make it happen. And we'll have some pretty cool announcements probably by the end of the month in terms of potential merch stuff, maybe. So stay tuned. And of course, if you are not already, go subscribe to the YouTube channel, Japan Time Podcast on YouTube. Make sure to go follow it so you can see all these VODs because Shofu doesn't upload them to his channel anymore. We upload them on the Japan Time YouTube channel. And then we use the member revenue and the ad revenue to then fund cool things like potentially what may be happening in the beginning of December. So make sure to go subscribe if you like the show at all. Don't miss it. Go follow us on Spotify. Leave us a 5-star review. Tell Fadel that he's trash and that he pooped his pants. And remember, as always, I am the eldest boy. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And we will talk to you all later. Good night, everybody.